Hey, welcome back to Mr. G's Hard Truth Show. And today we have a returning guest. Do you mind introducing yourself, please,
Hi,
to the audience?
everybody. I'm Evangelina Daniels, Master's in Social Work. I am a program coordinator advocating for individuals and families experiencing domestic violence and human trafficking.
Awesome. Thank you for returning back to the show. Um, I know we wanted to dig into how we could get more platforms like this to have these discussions and topics when it's dealing with social work and how we are treated as a whole, as a people engaging and involving ourselves in this field, wanting to give back to the communities, and sometimes coming into these roadblocks or red tape, as I may say.
Mm.
Do you care to share on some of the examples you may have seen or witnessed when it comes to lack of support for the work that we try to do in these communities?
Most definitely, we need to start acknowledging that we still dealing with systemic racism in our society, especially in our underserved communities. I think we still, this balance of still using underserved is still a issue. Why are we still using this terminology? We're using it because it's still real. It's still a
Mm.
reality for us. We are still underserved. I think the way out of this is, again, from last time we spoke, I talked about elevating in our education, right? So that we can create platforms like making more money, right? Money is the root of everything that we do, regardless of how we want to look at these aspects. But coming together as a collaborating team in our communities is going to be a big thing. But right now, we are still dealing with the naysayers, right?
Yes.
Not even addressing that we're still fighting for our mental health to be addressed, right? That mental health is real. It's a thing. It affects us all. And how can we get out of those disparities? Again, we have not been in a position to hold the accountable. So
Hmm.
here it is that we these platforms that we're on right now, like speaking with you, is a big one for us to start realizing the importance of speaking up. Let's have the conversation to make them uncomfortable. I don't want your apology. Apologies have been out the door. They've been needed to be in a retrospect for 400 years ago. Okay, so we now how can we develop to become a human race? We still looking
Yes.
at color. Color is still a boundary people do not want to cross or intertwine with, right? And in retrospect to mental health, housing, finances, it needs to be addressed. We are not addressing the topics. And now, with this administration going the way it is, what does that look like for us? And we are not having the conversation about how important it is to start creating these platforms. And I think I said it in the last interview, we need to start modeling behind individuals who have created the other platforms for individuals to get into entertainment, right? Like Tyler Perry, right? Y'all don't want to talk
Hmm.
about it, but this man was homeless for almost 5 to 8 years, and he is now this phenomenon of having, right, because he was homeless, and but he gives back to his people. And you guys find glitches, and you're not going to make everybody happy, but this is the platform that we also need to be on when we're talking about mental health, we're talking about education, and we're talking about health as a whole.
So, one thing I do find when dealing with these subjects is that the real topics don't get as much attention as, say, entertainers, right? The music industry, or things that are just there to make you laugh or to say, hey, this is for my amusement, so I'll tune in and press a like, or I'll press a share to that. But when it comes to real topics that involve us and our people, right, it gets overlooked, or it'll get a view without a like or a share, right? And then it
Mhm.
comes back to, hey, we're trying to get a message out to say, listen, hey guys, we have a dilemma here,
Mhm.
at home in our communities, right?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
it affects us all. And it
Mhm.
seems like nobody wants to pay attention to that. But the new TikTok trend, they'll pay attention to.
Mhm.
However, when a family member or a loved one or a friend gets pushed on a track, right? Because of a unaddressed mental health issue, or
Mhm.
somebody uses an illicit substance that they have no idea may contain fentanyl, right, or xylazine in there, and they die thinking they're just going to go out and have a good time, you know, then it's like, oh wow, we need to pay more attention to this instead of getting ahead of it and having these conversations in the beginning. Um,
Right. And another
so
thing is what we're not doing. How, like you said, how do we create these platforms? Well, I hear you guys are going to Essence festivals. I hear y'all going to BET Awards. But where's the Black mental health? That's not a thing. Like starting having these conferences. I see Taraji, and I'm speaking on the individuals who really address mental health. Taraji P. Henson and it's all other celebrities who are now on this mental health trend to make it a thing. Like, hello, we're out here. We exist. Our we need help. Mental health is real. Okay, so now where's our conventions? Where are our platforms that we could say, let's get together, collaborate with these celebrities, and really have it in our communities in each state? Hey, we need Black mental health. I'm sorry, it needs to be something for us so that we can see the resources, so we can pull from these resources. That's the platforms we need. I talked about Tyler Perry. That's another thing, what we need to do for us. um you gonna help or not help, but at the end of the day, what needs to be happening with all of us is that we get together and put our money together and start these conventions, start these um mental health, Black mental health awareness festivals for us, bringing these resources to life, nationwide, state to
see,
state.
Vanjie, I get it, right? But one of the hard truths is, in our profession and our career, right, we only make enough to cover a little over rent. You get what I'm saying? So if we're just covering a little bit over rent, it's hard to put these monies aside, right, to take on the task of trying to develop something that we can actually see flourish.
But
You
that's the
know,
problem. That's the
it,
problem.
it, it
We do
that's a
have the
major
money,
problem.
and
That's a
we do
major
have the
problem.
money. The problem is we don't want to put our money together. We're not having the conversation. We're not having the right conversation because
Hmm.
everybody else could put it, and y'all could put on festivals, y'all put on events, y'all put on awareness days for everything else. Even the veterans get a day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, where is it for us in mental health? We need to get these community leaders involved. We need a mental health day for us. I'm not trying to be funny. We are just barely, some cities are just barely celebrating Juneteenth. Let's keep it all truthful. Um,
Hmm.
I I've been to a couple of events. I'm like, they could have done better, but I have to in my realization, you just started doing this. You get what I'm saying? Where
Yeah.
it should have been, we should have been doing this. So yes, getting these community leaders, getting our congressmen and women together to address mental health, that means we have to lobby. So it doesn't take a lot of money to lobby either. And it doesn't take a lot of money for us to collaborate. We do have the money, it's if that's what we want to put our money in. Our mental health, having conventions, getting Black social workers. We haven't built no platform where we can have a convention for all of us. I mean, African American social workers, they are it's thousands of us that can address mental health, that can address substance use. You know how many substance abuse counselors we have? We need to get together
Exactly.
and show each other all the network the resources that we have. We can get together and network and make this a state to state thing. At the end of the day, I'm not going to stop what I'm saying. That's a vision I see. we need to start creating these platforms that we can have these conventions and putting them on state to state so that you can see that we're serious. The society can see that we're serious, and the people that we're trying to help can see that we are serious.
Which goes back to the statement that's underneath the hard truth, which is be the change you want to see, right?
Mhm.
So I guess we're gonna have to, put the feet to the pavement and put this information to good use and step out there in the field. You know,
Mhm.
now we're starting now by gaining momentum, getting this platform up, having a conversation that I believe we're going to have every Monday until we start bringing more people onto this Monday platform and have these kind of conversations and see what we could build from that point on.
Mhm.
And hopefully it'll gain momentum and success.
Mhm.
I have high hopes for that. I'm a firm believer in if you do right, you can't go wrong. You
Mhm.
know, um, with that being said, I think the next step would be to reach out to people that's like minded in this field, and have a conversation with them. Bring us to their platforms,
Yeah.
right? Let us engage with each other and vice versa. And I guess I'm gonna have to put that in a hashtag somewhere, um, so we can start creating these links on the World Wide Web. You
Yeah.
know, we do have T.R.O.P members that extend in 24 different states. So, T.R.O.P is one aspect, which is also a nonprofit entity. However, we also come to this brick wall when it comes to getting the proper support or funding, even from our own people,
Mhm.
right?
Because
Um,
like you
yeah,
said it earlier that it they don't you don't find it important, right? Until it's you or your family or loved one is affected. And another thing is, I'm not mad at our people because again, we're still learning about mental health. I'm sorry that some of I didn't know unapologetically because again, this is important for me and my education. But when we learn, we lack education on all platforms, no matter what hue of color you are. So at the end of the day, finding the importance in yourself to get on this bandwagon to say, it's okay to speak about your mental health. Remember at the time, especially men of color, you couldn't talk about your mental health. What are you talking about? You couldn't even cry.
mhm,
So expressing yourself, expressing feelings, knowing that depression is a real thing. Um, we still got to get people out of that think they can't talk to people because they'll be talked about. See how we are crab in the barrel ourselves. But
yes,
I don't want to say that in that at retrospect is because we don't know. And are we out here helping our people too? You get what I'm saying? Well, again, I want to build a nonprofit that it is for our people, that you see us out here doing something other than working for other organizations where we have to help everyone. So
yeah,
helping everyone, what do disparities look like? When I talked about disparities, our last interview is that, you don't want to help us. That's a real thing. It's okay. I don't want to tell you, I don't want to give you the resources. I don't want to help you. And a lot of them, a lot of us face that. A lot of people that look like us face these
hmm
disparities. You're giving them appointments 6 to 8 months out. That's not helping them in their crisis now. You get what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Or helping them before it get to a crisis. So they have to wait 6 to 8 months for the support. Something can happen in between. You're waiting for something bad to happen for you to help them. And we're saying let's not get it there. Depression is real, darkness is real. It's a dark entity that keeps them not feeling like they can live day to day. So we have to be very mindful and careful, when we're looking at aspects, even outside of me working for an agency, I'm very mindful how I talk to my friends and family. What spaces are you guys in right now? How do you feel? You know, what is it? So we can have the conversation to be careful. And not only that, not that I need to be their therapist or anything like that. Give them the help, give them the resources, send them to somebody, because it's somebody always better than Evangelina. You get what I'm saying? It's
Yes.
more than me. I can only do so much. I'm just one person. So when we get on them on these platforms, and like I said, hopefully that this big mental health and substance abuse awareness festival resource fair start popping off in each state for us, it's going to be a better understanding for individuals. Like I said, saying that it's okay, we out here to help you. I'm sorry, right now it seems like there are so many barriers behind what we're trying to do here, but what God ordains, nobody can take away. So that's what I believe, and I stay faith on that. I stand on that. So at the end of
Yes.
the day, it's just getting the credentials that we need, standing on this platform, and lobbying. Right, lobbying is a big thing. Getting our city council members, congressional individuals in play. This, it matters to us, so it should matter to you.
You're right. And we also have to work on the stigma, right, that we have when it comes to mental health and substance abuse in our communities. Listen, guys, it's okay to ask for help, right? If you go undiagnosed or untreated, it may cause a worse problem.
Yes.
And guess what? They'll play victim when you're actually the victim. Let me say that again. They will play victim when you're actually the one who's the victim. You get what I'm saying? So,
and and
you
and
know,
break it down for them, Job, what that
you
looks like. When
know,
Job
what,
say they play
what,
victim, they act like they're scared of you, so that
yes.
they don't want to talk to you. I want to break it down for Job, because again, everybody is not on this education platform. What he's talking about, this is for everybody. I want to break it down in layman terms. When I say the disparities, people who don't want, because they don't look like you, don't want to help you, because
Hmm.
they don't see you need the help, because they don't like you already. The color of your skin is a big thing. Even when we say we don't see color, we have to get out of that. We do see color, because the issue is color. The issue
Hmm.
is we're fighting to be seen, because we're not seen as human beings. You're human. You are a person.
So what I was saying is, instead of giving you a treatment plan, they will give you a corrective action plan
There
based
you
on the
go.
Department of Corrections and an aggressive tone of, hey, we need to apprehend this person
Yes.
and get them into what we feel like is the right module for them to rehabilitate themselves, instead of giving them the proper care that is offered to everybody else that doesn't look like us, right?
Correct.
In a suitable environment where they could get help, medication, therapy,
Yeah.
etc.
And
You
not looked at
understand?
as a target where they are getting killed. When, yeah,
Hmm.
let's have the conversation. Hard truth. The
Yeah.
reality is you're a target. Your mental health is a target, instead of looking at, like he said, your mental health. No, it's a addiction. It's a condition. It's a
Hmm.
sickness, and it's okay. I don't want you guys to be nervous or scared. At the end of the day, we want to let you know that there is help out there. But if, unfortunately, if you guys don't speak up, you guys don't talk, you guys don't say, "Hey, I really need the help," you're not going to know what we're talking about, in that this help really exists. People out here can really help you, because I'm not the only therapist around here. I'm not the only psychologist.
Hmm.
What I am going to say, we do need more psychologists and psychiatrists that look like me, of course, because remember, it wasn't a thing, it was only for the other people. So having psychiatry, psychologists, social workers, and therapists, counselors, drug counselors, rehabilitation workers. All this matters when it look like us. They need to look. We need more of us, because us is the problem. Us is the affected individuals, and not looked at. And I don't want us to continue this narrative, like he said, this stigma that we have, that we are target because of our addiction or our sicknesses.
There you go. And on that note, we're going to wrap it up for today's show. We're going to leave it open for some comments. I hope you guys enjoyed the information that we shared today, and we'll revisit us next Monday. Vanj, anything you want to say to the audience before we head out of here?
Oh, I want to say, you guys, take your mental health serious. You know what? Self care is the best care. Don't think you're out here alone. Ask for help. Use your 1-800 numbers. Ask for the help, and you'll see it's beyond what you thought it'd be if you just reach out.
That's right. And on that note, be kind, travel in harmony. I'm out. Peace. This is an Infinite Energy production. Yo, what's up, lads?
What up, son?
Yo, man, this shit done switched up, man.
What changed, bro?
They let a lot of frauds and lames up in here, man. Time to bring this
I
back.
see the envy up in their eyes. Characters talking them lies. Mannequins flossing that drip. Even kids talking they shit. Got gangsters snitching on tracks. In my book, they still call rats. You say the block you deal and the plug you deal with. Shootouts up in that trap. It's a fact recorded in the trap. I'm a warrior built to adapt. I had jewels way before rap. I had crews way before the 5 or 6. Use 9 for mine, so don't get out of line. Get put in lines, I call that at a time. I'm about mine, came to handle biz. Ain't no stopping that, I came to school. These lames is a crucial game. So I'm bringing pain, setting trends with some veterans. I'm a B-boy who respect the art. This is hip-hop, no gimmicks here. Even in careers if I have to. I'm an MC, this is natural. Don't make me body snatching, shorty grab. Put you on the plate for that actual.
Sharp.